as so saith Proverbs 16:4. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall a thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So basically what the Most High is going to do is he's going to take all these things that Esau has done and turn them back the right way. Alright? So that's why it says this intellectual group should attempt to put itself into positions where it could control the dissemination of information vital to biblical study. That's why you can't go by every book that Esau writes. You can get certain information and certain references, like from the Compact Bible Dictionary, Blue Letter Bible, which is a Strong's Concordance, and certain other books that Esau writes. You can get certain information out of there, but you can't go wholeheartedly by that. That's why you got a lot of these assholes out there that's lost, because they wholeheartedly trust in everything that Esau puts out there. And one prime example of that is this guy, False Prophet 666. Anything that Esau puts down in books, he just goes along with it. All right. So that's why it says that they would control the dissemination of information vital to biblical studies. This means they should gravitate to positions of authority in scholastic publications dealing with these fields, including libraries and archives. That's why when you go to these universities, which the word university, uni is one, versity is to turn into one, which is a one world government or one world order. When you go to these universities, you don't learn anything. You try to go to a university to learn the Bible, they're gonna twist that thing around so much to where when you come out of there, you're gonna be more perplexed than when you first went in there. That's why the so-called DDs, or Doctors of Divinity, that come out of these colleges, they're basically just set up to destroy further destroy the validity of the Bible, so that people, especially our people, the Israelites, would be more subject to lean towards the so-called white man and the government than to lean towards the Most High. Now, with that being said, I got to come back to Daniel, but I want to go to the book of Isaiah. We were just there, the 33rd chapter, and I believe it's the 20th verse, and it says, "Look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities. Thine eyes shall see Jerusalem." No, this is not it. It's in Isaiah 33:22. Here you go, Isaiah 33:22. "For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king, he will save us." So the Most High is the one that's going to save us. Now when you go to Isaiah, we were there, Isaiah the 10th chapter and the 20th verse, it also says this: "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob," meaning they escaped the grip of Esau, the so-called white man, and all these different philosophies that are being taught out here, "shall no more again stay upon him that smote them." Because see, Israel depends on Esau and the government. They trust in that. That's why when the situation happened in Louisiana with Katrina, what happened? What was the first thing they were asking for? They didn't say, "Where's the Most High at? Where's Yahweh Shai at?" What did they say? "Where's FEMA at?" Why? Because they trust in the so-called white man. They trust in his government more than they trust in the Most High. And that's one of the reasons why this whole biblical, which we're going to get into, the whole situation was set up to destroy the validity of the Bible, and have these preachers, have scandals come out on these preachers, so that when people would think about the scriptures and think about the Most High, the first thing that's going to come to their mind, instead of looking for salvation and being redeemed and being safe, they're looking at all the actions that happened. Or this guy was a pedophile, and this guy, he was a robber, this guy, he stole from the church, and this guy, this preacher, he committed all types of adultery with all kind of men and women in the church, homosexual acts. So they took all the attention away from the scriptures and from the Most High and put it on the people that are supposed to be teaching these religions. That's why we told brothers that this is not a religion. This is a worship. All right. So it said, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel in truth. So that means Israelites were going to stay, or going to trust in the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. That's why you have to learn this truth, so that you can, when the whole shit hits the fan, so to speak, you can be protected and you can be safe. All right. So now let's go back here to number 4. It says, "All sections of the Illuminati, Frankists, and fellow revolutionaries of future generations must cooperate fully to promote and enhance the career advancement of the Biblical Destruction Group." The Apocrypha in the Authorized King James Version. According to the book To Eliminate the Opiate, out of print by Rabbi Antelman, the Illuminati formed a committee entitled the Biblical Destruction Group in 1776. This committee disbanded 50 years later. In 1826, the Apocrypha, 14 books of the Bible, was removed from the Protestant edition of the King James Bible. What were in these books that the Illuminati had to keep from the average person? What truths had to be hidden, and particularly in the United States? So see, these devils know that there was a lot of information in the Apocrypha that was vital to knowing what the end times entailed, and it also spoke about America and its destruction. BDG. Now this Biblical Destruction Group, they were set up in 1776 when the Illuminati was set up, and supposedly they were disbanded 50 years later. But the only thing that was disbanded was the name, because the people were they still were continuing on in their quest. So the Biblical Destruction Group as a name, because it's nothing but a corporation, just like Macy's or J.C. Penney, they'll go out of business, but then they'll come back under a different name. And that's all that they did, because all Esau does is go from one corporation to the next. Just he'll do so much damage with one corporation and move on to another corporation. Just like America's a corporation. They did their damage, then they go under a different name. So this Biblical Destruction Group was started in 1776 during the birth and creation of the Illuminati, and then they were disbanded. This particular group was disbanded 50 years later, but they just went under different names. And in 50 years later, in 1826, that's when they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. Okay, and should apply pressure where necessary towards that advancement. BDG, or the Biblical Destruction Group, must be self-perpetuating. Every member must produce at least one replacement for himself in his lifetime. In other words, in case anything happened to this guy, somebody had to be, at least one other person had to be trained in what they were doing, in their goals. Number 6, all media at the disposal of revolutionaries must be rallied to disseminate propaganda issued by any member of the BDG, or the Biblical Destruction Group. Number 7, people who are not members of the BDG but who seem to show an interest in pursuing anti-Bible thought should be encouraged without even their knowledge and catapulted into important positions. This will strengthen the BDG at any time in history. So that's what they've been doing for the last since 1776, and really before that. But the so-called Illuminati that's known today, the Bavarian faction of it anyway, was started in Germany in 1776, which was May 1st through Adam Weishaupt, which was given, money and orders by the Rothschild to set that group up. It said, as time goes on, those who accept the views that are fostered by the BDG should be in a position strong enough to destroy any academician or intellectuals who do not conform to their ideas. And that's why they do the things that they do. And anybody that comes against them, you better believe that they put them to death. Alright, now, since we hit that point, right, I want to show you brothers something else. When you go, there's a